A 39-year-old woman who has a family still secretly engages in prostitution with her husband, charging 3,000 yuan per night. However, after spending a night at a hotel with a man, the woman was still not satisfied and wanted more novel excitement. The woman then invited the man to have intimate relations in the forest to experience something new and wilder. A few days later, a horrifying murder case occurred, with the main victim being the aforementioned woman. So, who murdered this woman? If you find out why this 39-year-old woman died, you will surely be very surprised. Now, let's explore this true story with many thrilling and extremely vivid details, which will horrify anyone who hears it. But first, don't forget to subscribe to the channel to receive notifications whenever there is a new video. This is a real case that occurred in Pingchang District, Sichuan Province, China. On February 10, a middle-aged man hurriedly entered Jiangyang Police Station in Pingchang District, Sichuan Province, looking flustered, with a face showing clear confusion and extreme worry. He hurried to the reception desk, speaking with a trembling voice and intermittent breaths. "I am Tian Wenchao. My wife is Huang Jing. She has been out of contact for 3 days now." At the police station, Tian Wenchao stated that his wife, a 39-year-old woman, was the loving mother of their 2 young children. On February 7, Tian Wenchao left home to visit his hometown to take care of family matters. Before leaving, Huang Jing earnestly reminded her husband of things to do, such as what gifts to buy and how much money to prepare to give to relatives and family members. Her actions and words were all very normal, with no unusual signs. On the afternoon of the 7th, the couple Tian Wenchao and Huang Jing were still talking on the phone as usual. But that evening, when Tian Wenchao tried to contact his wife, the call did not connect. Tian Wenchao simply thought that his wife's phone was out of battery, or she was busy with family work, so he did not pay much attention. However, when Tian Wenchao returned home on the morning of February 10, he was shocked to discover that Huang Jing had mysteriously disappeared. He immediately contacted his wife's friends and relatives to inquire about her, but no one had any information about her. Fearing that his wife might have been in trouble, Tian Wenchao went to the police station to report his wife's disappearance. After receiving information from Tian Wenchao, the police immediately initiated an investigation into the disappearance case. Huang Jing, a 39-year-old woman, worked as a server at a small tea shop in the town. Her life seemed peaceful and simple. When she wasn't working, she often entertained herself by playing card games with friends. However, no one could explain why a responsible woman like Huang Jing, who had a husband and children, suddenly disappeared for 3 days without anyone knowing. When the police inquired about Huang Jing's friends and colleagues, they all confirmed they hadn't seen her in the past few days. The card game friends also did not see her, and the tea shop owner, where she worked, said Huang Jing had not come to work for several days in a row. The police continued to expand their investigation, questioning Huang Jing's relatives, family members, and friends before she went missing, but to no avail. When asked why Huang Jing was not going to work and did not call her relatives, the tea shop owner stated that Huang Jing occasionally was absent without reason for 1 to 2 days, and then reappeared. Therefore, her disappearance for the past few days led many people to believe that the incident was similar to previous times. The tea shop owner further mentioned that her shop was just a regular tea shop, with employees mainly working seasonal or part-time jobs, not a state agency, so there was no need to report missing employees to their relatives. However, when delving into Huang Jing's personal life, the police discovered a shocking secret, making everything much more complicated than the peaceful appearance of her life. Based on data from traffic cameras, the police traced the route Huang Jing took before she went missing. At 3:20 p.m. on February 7, she appeared at a small hotel in the local area. Images from the hotel's security camera showed Huang Jing entering the lobby area, wearing a black coat with no unusual behavior. Then, Huang Jing proceeded to the reception desk to check in. While waiting, she took out her phone and called someone. 5 minutes later, a man appeared next to Huang Jing, and together they entered the elevator to go up to their room. What was special was that at the reception desk, the man did not leave any personal information, and all the procedures were carried out by Huang Jing. This made the police suspect that Huang Jing might have deliberately concealed the man's identity, clearly not wanting to leave any clues about her companion. At 5:40 am on February 8, the hotel camera again recorded images of Huang Jing. This time, she appeared alone at the reception desk to check out. After completing the procedures, the man appeared, and they both left the hotel together. This indicates that that night, Huang Jing stayed with this stranger, and their relationship seemed not simple. If the police could trace the identity of that man, they might uncover the truth behind her disappearance. According to what the camera recorded, Huang Jing had a somewhat plump figure, weighing about 70 kilograms, while the man accompanying her looked quite thin, a little shorter than her. The two of them left the hotel holding hands and walked down the street, then disappeared from the camera's view as they reached the end of the road. Based on these details, it can be confirmed that Huang Jing took advantage of her husband returning to his hometown to manage family matters and had contact with this man to go to the hotel for an affair. When the police informed her husband, Tian Wenchao, of the investigation results, he was shocked and in pain. Being cheated on by his wife completely shattered the trust he had in her after many years of living together. In addition to facing the mysterious disappearance of his wife, Tian Wenchao also had to endure the mental shock of being betrayed by her. Tian Wenchao asserted that he had no acquaintance with the man who appeared with his wife at the hotel. By analyzing images from traffic cameras at an intersection, the detective quickly identified the man who accompanied Huang Jing into the hotel. This man is Zhou Quan, 36 years old, divorced, originally from Desheng Town, Pingcheng District. Without wasting any time, the police immediately summoned Zhou Quan for questioning. At the police station, Zhou Quan admitted that he had spent the night with Huang Jing at the hotel, but insisted that they had parted ways early the next morning and went home separately. He claimed not to know where Huang Jing had gone. Throughout the interrogation, Zhou Quan answered the questions smoothly, confidently, and showed no signs of fear. However, his overly calm and confident demeanor only heightened the police's suspicions. After reviewing Zhou Quan's background, the police discovered that he had a prior criminal record for rape and had been sentenced to 7 years in prison in 2008. This further increased the suspicion that Zhou Quan might be involved in Huang Jing's disappearance, as he was the last person to see her at the hotel. To verify Zhou Quan's statements, the police re-investigated his entire whereabouts on October 8 and found that he had lied. After leaving the hotel, Zhou Quan did not go home immediately, as he had claimed. In reality, he and Huang Jing got into a car together and drove to his hometown in Desheng Town. Upon arriving home, Zhou Quan rode his motorcycle out and picked up a woman on the road. When asked, Zhou Quan stated that she was his girlfriend. However, he could not provide any information about the name or residence of this woman, which further increased the police's suspicions. Traffic security cameras had captured images of the woman traveling with Zhou Quan on the motorcycle, and the police recognized that the silhouette and physique of this woman bore many similarities to Huang Jing. Both of them headed towards Canggu River, a secluded area with dense and desolate mountains and forests. At that time, it was winter. The weather was very cold, and no one would go to that area unless there was a special reason. This raised a big question for the police. Why did Zhou Quan take Huang Jing to this desolate area? Not long after, the police collected Zhou Quan's old case files from 2008 and discovered that the location where he had previously committed rape was also the Canggu River area. This suspicious coincidence made the police unable to ignore the possibility that Zhou Quan might have taken Huang Jing there to commit another crime. Huang Jing had been missing for 3 days, and the police's concern was increasingly growing. They suspected that Zhou Quan might have led Huang Jing to an old location to reenact the crime. To ensure that no clues were missed, The police divided their forces into 3 groups. One group continued to interrogate Zhou Quan. Another was dispatched to inspect the suspicious scene in the Changgu River area. And the remaining group continued to track the whereabouts of both Zhou Quan and Huang Jing. In Zhou Quan's hometown, the police conducted a search of the house where he lived and found the clothes he wore on the day he went to the hotel with Huang Jing. Notably, these clothes had been put into the washing machine but were not completely washed. Inside the drum, the police found a pair of mud-stained gloves. This detail made the police suspect that Zhou Quan might have been involved in an illegal act, potentially murdering Huang Jing since she had been missing for 3 days. During the interrogation process, the police discovered many scratches on Zhou Quan's body, but strangely, these scratches were not caused by humans. Instead, they seemed to have originated from times he was pricked by thorns or sharp objects from nature. Especially, there was still some unwashed blood on Zhou Quan's thumb, which further raised suspicions that he might have been involved in some sort of struggle. From these initial pieces of evidence, the police suspected that Huang Jing was likely murdered and her body was buried near the Changgu River area. To test this hypothesis, the police force mobilized dozens of people to conduct searches along the entire river. However, after many hours of investigation, they still did not find any clues. In the following days, the police decided to expand the search area, deploying additional special forces and mountain search teams, with hundreds of people participating. Finally, in a dense forest area near the Changgu River, they discovered some faint footprints on the wet ground, which had been somewhat blurred by the rain. Since Huang Jing weighed as much as 70 kg, Zhou Quan would certainly have had difficulty disposing of the victim. The police predicted that due to the difficulty of moving the corpse, Zhou Quan would most likely choose a location along the highway to bury her. Meanwhile, the interrogation of Zhou Quan had a breakthrough. The police not only used logical methods, but also knew how to exploit his emotions. Eventually, under psychological pressure, Zhou Quan could not hold back his tears and confessed she deserved to die. He admitted to having murdered Huang Jing and buried her body near the Changgu River. Zhou Quan affirmed that he had no intention of burying Huang Jing properly, but simply threw her body into a deep hole so that no one would find it. After thorough investigation, the police found Huang Jing's body in a secluded cave, hidden by large, stacked rocks. The victim was hidden in a very secluded place, making it nearly impossible for outsiders to detect without information directly from the perpetrator. Through the forensic examination, Huang Jing was struck in the face and head with a large stone, causing the victim to die instantly. This action demonstrates his level of brutality and determination to commit murder. After committing the crime, Zhou Quan also took 4,000 RMB from Huang Jing. Although he confessed to the murder from beginning to end, Zhou Quan maintained a hateful attitude towards Huang Jing. He justified that killing her was to liberate the unlucky man from Huang Jing's fabricated lies. This defense made the police find it extremely strange, because the two had spent time chatting and meeting regularly through WeChat, even having intimate moments in hotels. Why did Zhou Quan develop such hatred towards Huang Jing that he murdered her and threw her in such a desolate place? During the continued interrogation of Zhou Quan, a horrifying secret was revealed, surprising everyone when they learned the reason he killed Huang Jing. Zhou Quan stated that he was not very close with Zhou Quan, but was just like a client going to purchase sex. As for Huang Jing, even though she had a husband and children, she still secretly sought men to fulfill her desires and have money to spend. Zhou Quan had an unhappy marriage, and after his divorce, he became involved in a romantic relationship with a woman who was already married. That woman had promised to divorce her husband to start a new life with Zhou Quan. However, at the beginning of 2022, when his mistress decided to divorce, she encountered obstacles. The divorce date was postponed, and then this woman followed her husband to work in another place, leaving Zhou Quan in disappointment and suffering. Sweet dreams of a new life vanished, making Zhou Quan feel betrayed and deceived. It was during this time that he thought of Huang Jing, an old friend on WeChat whom he had met at a friend's party in 2021. On February 7, 2022, Zhou Quan proactively contacted Huang Jing. Coincidentally, on that day, Huang Jing's husband returned to his hometown in another province and planned to stay for a few days to handle work. This unintentionally created an opportunity for Huang Jing to meet Zhou Quan at a hotel. To avoid being detected by others, Huang Jing went to the hotel first to book a room. Then Zhou Quan arrived. Before getting intimate, Huang Jing asked Zhou Quan to pay her a sum of money, including service charges, room rental, and other expenses, totaling 3,000 RMB. Zhou Quan agreed to transfer the money to Huang Jing without hesitation before engaging in the encounter. On the morning of February 8, as they were preparing to leave, Huang Jing unexpectedly suggested to Zhou Quan that they should go to a wilderness area to seek some new and thrilling sensations. Zhou Quan immediately agreed to this proposal and then stated that his hometown had a beautiful location near the Canggu River that was very suitable for that affair. After leaving the hotel, the two got into a car to return to Zhou Quan's hometown. Due to the difficult road, Zhou Quan suggested going home to get a motorcycle to take Huang Jing to the remote area near the Canggu River. Both of them walked 20 minutes deep into the Canggu River area, where the forests were quite dense and desolate. There, Huang Jing requested Zhou Quan to transfer an additional 5,000 yuan to her. She even suggested that if Zhou Quan gave her 10,000 yuan each month, Huang Jing would always be willing to meet him at any time. Zhou Quan did not hesitate and transferred the additional 5,000 yuan as requested, and the two had sexual relations in the forest, amidst the biting cold of winter. After their intimate encounter, Huang Jing became greedier and demanded Zhou Quan to give her the remaining 5,000 yuan. Zhou Quan refused, arguing that it was only the beginning of the month and not yet time to give more money. He was worried that if he transferred the money too early and she blocked him on WeChat, he would no longer be able to find her, thus losing everything. However, Huang Jing was not satisfied with this refusal and demanded Zhou Quan to give her the money immediately, leading to a heated argument. Huang Jing continued to use various reasons to demand money, which made Zhou Quan feel that he was being deceived by the woman again. Amidst this suspicion, Zhou Quan asked Huang Jing to return all the money he had transferred. However, Huang Jing refused to return the money and began to curse and tussle with Zhou Quan. After being beaten, Huang Jing returned 5,000 yuan to Zhou Quan and then transferred an additional 2,000 yuan. But Zhou Quan felt that the money was still not enough, and he was short of 900 yuan. Not giving up, he continued to chase Huang Jing, demanding that she return all the money. In his anger, Zhou Quan struck Huang Jing's head hard with a stone, forcing her to give an additional 2,000 yuan. At this point, Huang Jing felt she had nothing left to lose and threatened to sue Zhou Quan for sexual assault when she returned to town. This only drove Zhou Quan into a frenzy, and he attacked her once again, this time more violently. Ultimately, Huang Jing died from multiple fatal injuries. Seeing that Huang Jing had passed out, Zhou Quan still held deep resentment. He decided to throw Huang Jing into a cave and cover her with stones, with the intention of preventing her from resting and reincarnating. After being arrested and brought to trial, Zhou Quan was sentenced to death, but the execution was reprieved for 2 years. At the same time, he had to compensate the victim's family over 43,000 yuan in a civil lawsuit. Over those 2 years, Zhou Quan had to rely on relatives and family members to sell land and houses to obtain compensation money for the victims' families. In early 2024, Zhou Quan was officially executed, ending the life of the cruel murderer and restoring justice to the victims. The murder case that occurred in 2022 was clarified with thrilling and shocking details, leaving many people astonished. It all began when Huang Jing, a married woman, mysteriously disappeared and was later murdered in the forest. What is noteworthy here is that her death was not just an ordinary murder case, but also contained many dark truths behind it. Many people believe that Huang Jing was not a pitiable victim, because even though she had a warm family, she secretly sold herself for prostitution. It was because of this behavior that she had to pay the price with her life, leaving behind two poor young children who lived without their mother. The person who suffered the greatest pain was none other than her husband, Tian Wenchao. When the truth was revealed, he had to face two terrible shocks in his life. Tian Wenchao's wife secretly went into prostitution and was later brutally killed by village customers, causing an uproar throughout the district and making him feel ashamed before his relatives and neighbors. Tian Wenchao admitted that every time he went out, he could only bow his head in shame before the pitying looks, and sometimes the mocking laughter of the villagers. Tian Wenchao showed a sad and dejected face, stating that he could endure this terrible shock, but his two children were heavily affected. At school, the children were teased by friends about their mother going into prostitution and being killed by customers, making Tian Wenchao's two children always feel ashamed. They even had no friends to play with, simply because their mother's case had become famous throughout the province. The man in his 40s only hopes that as time passes, his two children will grow up and not be affected by the negative information about their mother. Huang Jing's case is also a lesson for parents to live kindly as an example for their children and to prevent them from being negatively influenced by the parents' private lives. What do you think about this case, especially the victim's lifestyle? In your opinion, is Huang Jing a pitiful woman or a woman to be blamed? Today's video comes to an end. If you find this story interesting, please press the like and subscribe buttons to support us in producing more exciting videos. Thank you for watching.